My friends, wow, what a morning this is going to be. I've got two of my favorites, true legends, a real power couple on with us here this morning. I first learned about these individuals before I met them, and when I met them, I was absolutely overwhelmed by their kindness, their intelligence, their humility, and how just cool of people they were. And so I'm so proud and so honored to be able to bring to you this morning the one, the only, the man and woman, myth and legends, Rodney and Amy Hiers. How's it going, my friends?
Morning.
Great.
Thank you for that, Dave.
Thanks for the kind words.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You deserve everything I said and more. And so tell us where you're called in from. We'll pretend that people don't know who you all are, and like that, you know, people are living under a rock, and if they don't know, they're about to know. They're about to know, my friends, exactly who Rodney and Amy are. But tell us where you're calling in from.
We're calling from South Georgia, and you can probably tell by the southern accent. So I have it thicker than Amy.
Yeah.
So here we are in Humidityville.
Natfield, South Georgia.
Yeah. So it's so great to be with you here this morning. Tell us, you know, a little bit about what originally led you to Legendary. You know, what were you looking for? What did you find when you found us? And we'll talk about here in a moment, you know, what it's been like since then.
Okay, I'll start because I was in a direct sales company for over 20 years. And the reason I started that in the first place was because if I ever had kids, I wanted to be able to be home with them. I didn't want to have to be in an office and have to put them in a daycare. So I knew before I ever even had kids that that's what I wanted. So I found an MLM. And it was, honestly, it was never something that I had immense joy doing. It's just, I wanted to be at home and I was looking for a way to make money and not be tied down by a schedule or an office boss or whatever. And so I did this thing forever. And as the years went by, I just became increasingly miserable with it. And I did look at other jobs. I actually took a job with a radio station one time. And I took a job with a builder one time, and that just wasn't it. And I've just been searching forever. So part of my job was getting on the phone and scheduling appointments with people. Hated it. But that was just the job. And so I was sitting in my kitchen making those phone calls one day, and just like to reward myself for making a phone call, I would get on TikTok and watch a funny video. Like after every call, I was like, okay, I need to see something funny now. And so while I was brand new on TikTok, and while I was scrolling, I came across a girl talking about making money online, and she had made what I considered a chunk in just a short amount of time. And I was like, dang, I have this saying that intelligent people get the facts. I'm like, I'm going to get the facts. I don't know if this is for me. I'm just going to get the facts. So I started listening to her, listened to you, Dave. I watched your free video, and it was a no-brainer to me. That $7 decision was an absolute no-brainer to me. I invest in educational things all the time. So I got started learning, said something to him about it. I went and stuck the phone and the iPad in front of him. I was like, watch this dude, which is you. You're the dude. And I said, watch this dude. And he watched you, and I watched him as he's watching you. I'm kind of curious, like what his reaction is going to be. And because he knew I had been miserable in my job, he knew it. And so he's like, okay, it's all right. Okay. All right. I was like, I'm going to do this. He's like, okay. It's like, I mean it. I'm going to do this. He's like, okay. So I got started, and I didn't talk to him a whole lot about it because I just didn't. And I just got going. And then I started doing live streams. And one day he popped in on my live stream, and all of a sudden he wrote in my live stream a comment, I'm going to do this. And I was like, looking at the comments, I was like, what? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? So he completely shocked me. And I'll let you tell the rest.
Yeah, it shocked me too. I've worked 35 years in engineering and construction, and I still like my job, but that longevity at a job just doesn't seem to matter anymore. I don't feel safe, secure. So I've been watching her for a while. I guess you call it peeking through the blinds. It was months later. And I was happy she started this, but over time I saw this success that she had. And yeah, I saw the money coming in, and yeah, that was wow. But suddenly I saw this fulfillment in her. And I hadn't seen that. I have not seen that in years. We've been married 12 years. So you started this 2 years ago. For the last 10 years, I never saw that fulfillment in Amy. And finally, it was just this passion that she has for this. And that was a light bulb that went off for me. I said, you know what? I want some of that too. So I figured 2 incomes in the same household is better than 1. So here I am. I tried it out and love it.
Loving it.
Wow. Wow. What a story. I mean, and it's so wonderful and beautiful that you both have been positively inspired by each other, and you've supported each other, and you've also inspired Rodney so much that he's gone from being just a supporter of yours, and an amazing supporter of yours, by the way. I mean, when I met you at the mastermind and you came, we had originally asked Rodney, your bride, to speak, right? And she came up to the front of the room and absolutely crushed it. And I remember looking back and looking at you, and you just had this look of pride, this look of just happiness, and just so much. Just you were so proud in that moment to see her so happy, to see her thriving, see her doing her thing. And I have so much respect and admiration for you, for the support that you've given her. And it's cool that you have allowed her, because in society, sometimes men can be too prideful to be inspired by a woman. Oh,
Right.
be inspired by a woman? What's that? What? Really? Yeah. And we've got a lot of amazing women in this community that if us fellas would swallow our pride and listen up and pay attention, we might be able to learn something, right? We might be able to learn something around here. And so I really admire that. And we'll share your, you guys have accounts now together that it looks like you're creating and promoting and marketing on. You've also got, everybody can go over and follow Side Hustles Hot Rod over on Facebook, and check out your content and kind of see you. Amy, let's ask you, what was it like for you to go from network marketing, which in cold calling and a lot of the belly to belly marketing, to now start, when you started marketing and you've become somewhat famous for your live streams, in your journals, in your pens that you use. Of course, you gifted me one of those pens and everybody at our last mastermind, and I still have that and love that. What was it like for you at the beginning as you started to go from that more belly to belly world to this digital world, which was likely uncomfortable, but also probably brought a lot more leverage to you, because now all of a sudden you went from talking one-to-one to one-to-many?
If I could, anybody that's ever been in network marketing knows the grind that it requires, and the payoff just wasn't there. I worked and I was devoted for 2 decades to this, and I didn't want to be a quitter, but sometimes there comes a time where you just need to quit. If what you're doing is not working, you got to stop tolerating what's not working. And I just finally said, I don't care what it is, I must find something else. And it was because of the pandemic that I had to find a way to do my direct sales business online. We're stuck at home, and secretly I'm like, yes, I don't have to do these appointments with people anymore. I'm so excited. I don't have to do these appointments with people anymore. They can't come over anymore. Yay. High five. And so I was really, really happy about that. And then I started looking. I looked at podcasting. I looked at, creating digital courses, which I still think is an amazing thing. I looked at Shopify. I looked at those. And here comes this digital marketing thing. And I'm like, wait a second. I don't have to have any inventory. I don't have to take people's credit cards. I don't have to ship anybody anything. And Lord have mercy, I don't have to build a team. Hallelujah. So very, very happy. host parties. I don't have to do any of those things. I don't have to kick him outside and have people come over. And it just was, there's videos that Rodney has shot of me running around the house. That is not me acting. That is not me putting on a show for a video. That was real live me, so freaking excited to find something else that could bring in a much, much better income for my family, that could give me joy and happiness. I could set a better example for our sons. It's just been a godsend. I thank God every single day that I came across you and learned about this business and just knowing that I can get out there and do a video. We can do videos together or separately, because we still have separate businesses. We just work together on them sometimes on each other's. But it has been the biggest joy that I'm just grateful for it. I really thought I was going to be stuck in that direct sales company till I retired, and I was sick about it. Sick. I would cry in the shower sometimes. I was like, I don't know what else to do. So This has been a godsend, and I'm so, so grateful for it.
Yeah. There's so much relation and identification with the guru gauntlet and the MLM, the MLM train, because it's a lot of times hopping from one cart to the next. And with so many of these MLMs, they really get territorial and controlling with their distributors. So you really can't do multiple things. You kind of go into it thinking you're going to be an entrepreneur. And then all of a sudden, if you show signs of wanting to kind of branch out and kind of do some other things in your entrepreneurial career, they threaten termination. And as a matter of fact, I just had somebody share a termination threat from their legal team, from a MLM company's legal team, because she was trying to branch out and learn affiliate marketing and kind of upgrade her skills and share our course with her, audience. Yep. And so, we've all kind of had our own taste and sometimes a bad taste in our mouth from some of these MLMs. It's not all bad. A lot of us got our start kind of in some sort of a network marketing or direct sale company. And for me, I definitely honed my skills, but at a certain level or a certain point, you kind of got to make a decision. Is this something that is for a season, or is this something for a lifetime? And oftentimes it's just a stepping stone to the rest of my career. Rodney, what's it been like for you to go from, not being in front of and even at our mastermind, being, in the room, watching Amy speak, watching Amy shoot videos and do lives and stuff like that, to now you doing them yourself? What's that transition been like? I mean, how have you worked through some of the uncomfortability and some of the vulnerability that maybe you felt doing that? Tell us what this experience has been like for you, being new at something, knowing that it works, but also being new at it and having to work through some of those new feelings.
Oh, wow. At my job, that's all I knew. I worked engineering construction. I had a boss. I draw design equipment. I create a blueprint to give construction, and they go out and build it, and it has to be right. So that was my whole world. That's all I knew. So stepping into this, it's like coming from a different planet. So just observing Amy, I thought the first time I saw her shoot video, putting text on screen, I'm like, what in the world is going on? Why? I don't get it, And finally I caught on to it. I love creating content. I absolutely do. I find myself becoming this actor, and sometimes we film each other. A lot of times I'll film Amy when she's not looking. I'll film her as she's driving up to the driveway, or when she's working with her mom. And I think I learned that from Alex Ford. I think he suggested that. Thank you, Alex. And that's worked. That has worked. So for me, it's just been exciting. I'm usually pretty quiet, kind of the quiet guy in big social settings, but as far as making content, man, I feel confident. I do.
That's cool, man. And I can relate to the sort of performance and acting thing. It's like, you turn on a camera and that's what you're supposed to do. is perform, and it's a beautiful balance when you can find yourself having authentic fun as you're kind of putting on a show for people. That really is a form of love. If you think about different cultures, when the way that they show love to each other is they entertain each other. If you a lot of times go to a different state or a different country, I'm thinking right now about some of my trips to Hawaii and how when I go there, they've got these beautiful dancers. I don't want to call them the wrong thing. Maybe they're hula dancers, or again, I may be labeling them, and I don't want to disrespect anybody, but some of these beautiful dances and performances that they do, and it's a form of entertainment. It's a form of love. It's a form of them showing their guest who they are and what their culture is about, and again, bringing entertainment. And we have the ability to both entertain our audience and our new friends out there online who we may or may not do business with, but also educate, right? Also educate. What has it been like, Amy, for you to go from kind of a maybe a more sales background with some of your previous jobs, but also MLMs, to now being this wonderful educator? I mean, you get on these lives that you've become so famous of doing in these different videos that you do, and you really do a fantastic job of educating people. I'll never forget your talk at our recent mastermind, where you got up in front of our audience and just, blew everybody away with the knowledge. And so I was thinking to myself as you were talking, I was like, this is one of the best sales and marketing trainings that I've ever heard in my life. And you were really just telling your story. You were telling how you think about approaching people, how you think about talking to people, how you do talk to people, how you connect with people. What has it been like for you to kind of embrace this role as not just a leader, but also sort of an educator combined with an entertainer like Rodney was talking about?
Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. That means a lot coming from you. It's been a shift from selling something to sharing something. I'm no longer, I know a sale has to happen. No matter who you're no matter what company you're promoting, a sale has to happen for you to make commissions. But I'm not doing the selling. I'm doing the sharing. I'm sharing what worked for me. I'm sharing what I believe in. I've got 9, different companies that I just share about in, videos, and mostly in emails, the extra ones that I don't actually talk about a lot in videos. But it's just been a nice shift to not feel like I'm going after somebody to get them to say, yes, I'll purchase this from you. Where do I put my credit card information? You're not buying anything from me. You're not buying anything from me. And that's a huge joy. You're not also, sometimes people ask me on live streams, like, how do I join your team? I don't have a team. I got a Facebook group. You're welcome to hop in there, but I don't have a team. I'm here, if there's any questions I can answer, but this is not me making money based off what a team produces. It's not based on production of these people that have joined me. And I am so happy about that. There's no conflict of interest. Back when I used to be in this MLM, which was a great one, by the way, I never even say the name of it. It wouldn't be hard for anybody to figure out, but I don't say the name of the company because I have so much respect for it. And I don't want anybody to ever walk away saying she was in that one and she said it sucked. No, it didn't suck. I sucked at it. But I just felt such relief that I'm not selling somebody on something anymore. I am just sharing, and that's just been a shift, and a huge sense of joy that I'm not having to try to get something out of somebody. Telling my story, the ones who are supposed to hear it will, the others, okay, see ya.
And that's why we suggest people to start off with affiliate marketing. And that's why we have the core 4 business models of selling information that we do, is because absolutely you can ascend to selling courses, coaching, and events, but you can also start by being an affiliate of somebody else's course or coaching program or event. And why? Well, why information products? Because they have low overhead, because there's higher profit margins, because there's no shipping supply chains. I mean, who's sick of hearing about supply chains after the pandemic? I mean, if I never have to hear that word again, I'll be totally fine, right? It's, your shipment's stuck in the supply chain, or I can't get a car, but I got to pay double over retail because of the supply chain. It's like, well, there's Alex Ford right there hopping on. We were just shouting you out. Of course, I saw Sarah and Jay Thompson on the show as well. I even saw Phil Kohlberger on the show. He hates when I say Cole. It's not Cole. It's Kohlberger. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to be an affiliate and recommend somebody else's product and not have to close a deal and not even have to deliver the product or service, right? We're literally, or do the customer support or worry about the merchant processing. We're only focused on creating content, sharing edutainment, as we call it, education and entertainment, as Rodney pointed out. And if it's for them, fine. If it's not, there's 8 billion people on the planet, and we're not gonna nag you. We're not gonna try to motivate you. I mean, like we would do so often in MLMs, where you're building that team, and the goal is to get 3 who get 3 who get 3 who get 3, and you got your 3, but nobody else is doing their 3, and you want to take them and say, "Come on, let's get rich, people," and it can be very frustrating. I saw a question come through. And I want to give this to you, Rodney. Nini said, "I'm 55. Is this too old? I'm on day 4." What would you say to that?
Oh my gosh. I had someone ask me that on one of my contents, and I responded with a video. 55, 65, 20, 85. They're just numbers. They're just numbers. You're as young as you feel. And so, no, anybody can learn this. Anybody. I just laugh at numbers. I do. It's all in your head.
Yeah. I mean, we're a little bit ahead of you. If you're 55, we're a little bit ahead of you.
Yeah, we're a little bit.
Like, I don't know how that happened. I don't know where I was when I got into the 50s. Like, what's been going? I mean, like, dang. I don't know. I don't feel that way up there. I don't act that way. We don't act. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If I was 65, 75 right now, I'd still be going, we need to look at this. We need to look at this, because it doesn't matter what background you're from, what educational level you're at. It comes down to hunger to change your situation and to stop tolerating whatever crap you've been putting up with. And for me, my crap was this low-paying MLM that required so much of me and didn't deliver, made him toss and turn at night because money was tight. And he married me. We've been married 12 years, and I came into this marriage, and he knew it. I was like, I got news for you. I got some credit card debt. He's like, I'll marry you anyway. And so it just made him toss and turn that I didn't have the income coming in. It is just such a relief now.
It's a huge relief.
He sleeps peacefully. I sleep peacefully. We laugh all the time. We have a good time. And, it's like I said earlier, it's just been an answer to prayer. It really, really has.
Really has.
Yeah.
And it's allowed you to spend more time with family. I know that you were a caregiver for a period of time, and I know that was a very important thing for you to be able to be there for family members, in particular somebody very special to you. What is this done for you in terms of not only having fun, but also being able to give back, take care of, spend quality time with people that you love, not just Rodney, but others as well, Amy?
Thank you for that question. It's so important to me. Family is everything in the world to us. And I'm very, very close to my parents. He's very close to his. He runs over. His parents live an hour away. He runs over. He knows their yard. He's such an amazing son and husband. And my parents lived when my mom now lives 15 minutes down the road. My parents saw me struggle in this MLM. And part of that time I was a single mother. I have a son who just went off to college. But my parents saw me struggle. And it's hard to see anybody you love struggle, especially your child. And they watched me struggle, but I wasn't a quitter, and I wouldn't quit this thing. I was like, no, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going. and they struggled. And so my daddy was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2004. So he lived a long time with it. He just passed away in April of this year.
20 years.
Yeah, almost 20 years. And so every morning I'd go over and make him and my mom breakfast. And every morning he'd go, "How much did you make yesterday? How much did you make yesterday? How much did you make yesterday?" And I was giving him these numbers about how much I made yesterday that he called me one time. He goes, "Amy, I'm concerned. Is this like a Bernie Madoff type like Ponzi scheme?" I'm like, "No, Daddy, no, this is totally legit. This is digital marketing." And I explained it to him, but his Parkinson's was, messing with his head. But one of the greatest joys was not only being able to spend time with him and being there till the minute that he passed. I didn't have to miss anything. I watched my sisters crying as they had to go back to work. Because my sister that lives in Atlanta is like, "How am I supposed to leave when he's like this?" And I'm like, this is why I do what I do. This is why I figured out a way to work from anywhere so that I wouldn't miss, whether it's a small child or an elementary school kid, teenager, older parent. I didn't want to miss out. This time is just going by too fast. And so, but the biggest thing was the mental relief I gave him when he knew that I was financially secure, that I had found a way to overcome all the massive credit card debt that I had. It is all zero now. What a relief to him to know that I had found a way and that he was a supportive and jumping on board and that we were a team in this. It's just the greatest gift. I felt like one of them that I could give him was to be there for him and also say, "Daddy, we're okay. We got this. We got it now, and we're okay."
And let me add to that. We've made content with her dad and her mom. Not for sympathy, but just this is our story.
Right.
This is what's happening in our world. When I first saw Amy make videos, I was like, "Man, she'll shoot a video anywhere," and that's great. That's wonderful.
But yeah, it has been our story.
I'm glad you had that time, and we're going through it with your mom and my parents, and sometimes it seems like our time's limited, so we just work with what we got.
Yeah. Well, you know that I shared it on the show quite often as it was happening. My father this year went through open heart surgery and he was in the hospital for 77 days. He had a lot of complications. It was extremely difficult, obviously for him. But now he doesn't remember any of it because they give you lots of good medication to sort of wipe out your memory and ease your pain as you're going through something like that. But for 77 days, every single day, I was able to go to the hospital.
Awesome.
Every single day. My aunt, she's retired. She and my father's sister, my father's only sister, and both of their parents are passed. And she was able to be there as well. But she's 70 years old, 69. She was able to be there because she doesn't have a job. She retired several years ago. And so the fact that I was able to be right there by her side and oftentimes even more available than she was, because she was going to her doctor's appointments and she has a husband and they were still trying to take care of their home and their dogs and et cetera, et cetera. And I was there just as much or more as she was. And so I understand that blessing of being able to be there because of these skill sets, because of setting myself up. And oftentimes it is difficult in the beginning when you're in that first chapter of your business, which so many of the people in our community are, and you're feeling like this isn't going anywhere for me and I'm not making progress and this feels hard. And you hear about some of these stories here on Wake Up Legendary and you're like, I'll never get there. But the truth is that you will if you stick with it. If you stick around long enough to learn really what you're made of. So I want to ask you this, Rodney, and I usually ask it about yourself, but I want to do something a little bit different this morning. What have you learned through this process about Amy that you either forgot about, you didn't remember, or it is something that you've been newly, realized? What have you learned about Amy through watching her on this journey, through watching her in this process, that you either forgot or didn't know about her?
Wow, that's a good question. I knew she always had this energy in her. I knew it even 10 years ago. It just really blossomed in the last 2 years. I've learned, well, just watching her lives. I'll sit in the next room, and a lot of times I moderate. But as a moderator, I've learned so many sayings that Amy says. She's so influenced by Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, some other people. And when she gets off her live, I'm like, who are you? I don't even know you anymore. I mean, she just, it's like, wow, you just really pump this up. I don't know you anymore. So I see this growth in her like I've never seen before. And, I hope others, get something from her. I certainly get something from her. But it's just amazing. It really is.
Amy, same question to you about Rodney.
Well, years ago, our pastor of our church asked him to something like, "Hey, every now and then, would you maybe consider reading the scripture at the beginning of the service?" And at the time, Rodney's like, let me think about that. I'll consider that. But then he, never got back to him about it. And I have watched him just like become this confident, willing to put himself out there and get uncomfortable, which I didn't know he had it in him, because he told the preacher no, which now if you were asked, you probably would do it. But he's stepped outside his comfort zone, and I didn't know that he would do that. I didn't know that he would do that. He's kind of, I wouldn't say he's quiet and shy, but he's a little bit more reserved. And I think because you become like who you hang around, and I'm a complete idiot. And so he's, pretty much we just have fun.
We're goofballs.
And he's just relaxed and let people see that side of him. And that surprised me that he would be doing that.
That was a good question.
Yeah.
Well, now let's direct it right at you, about self-reflection and self-awareness. How have you been reintroduced to yourself, Rodney, through this process? I mean, what characteristics about yourself have come out that maybe were sort of either suppressed, repressed, you had sort of stuffed down, maybe from your childhood, in terms of your playfulness or your ability to be able to walk through and try new things? What have you learned about Rodney through this process that you either forgot about that you had, or that you didn't know existed within you?
I guess I had a hang up and when I first saw myself on camera, I was like, wow, I really look like that. I got some sunspots. Oh, wow. I have one eyebrow just a little bit grayer than the other. So when you look back, it looks like I have one eyebrow. And I had to laugh at myself. And I'm bald. I don't care. I'm proud to be bald. So I had to get over looking at me. And the more value I give people, I realize people don't care what you look like. They don't care what you sound like. They don't care if you have a Southern, what's the dialect, Southern slang. They just want value. They want to hear from you. They want to know you're a real person. So I learned that. I had to learn that kind of the hard way.
Beautiful. Amy, what have you learned about yourself that you may have forgotten existed within you, or you didn't know existed within you through this journey?
I didn't know I could do live streams. I just was doing what I was told to do in the beginning. Matt said, do a live stream. I was like, all right. And then I was like scared. I was scared to hit that live button. I didn't know how I was going to handle people. What I have learned about myself is that I can be compassionate toward people. I can be encouraging toward people. I can educate people. And that's what I'm there to do. I'm just there to, everybody's going through something. We're problem solvers as direct market or digital marketers. Listen to me. As digital marketers, we are problem solvers. That's what I'm there to do. I'm here to share what worked for us. It may not work for everybody, but it worked for us. I encourage people, and I'm good at encouraging people. That's what I learned. Like, encourage each other. It's important. It's important who you listen to. Who do you hang around? You become like who you hang around. So you better watch who you listen to. And and so I feel like the opportunity to get on a live stream every day and just let people know I'm just like you. I'm absolutely no better. I don't have any special skills. I'm just telling a story, and anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. And I'm glad that I had the courage to finally just do it and hit it every day, hit the live stream every day. So that's surprising.
There's beautiful, wonderful shares, and thank you for being so, as Michael says, you both are so real. And Kurt said here, I saw Kurt, and I thought he made a funny comment. He said, God only made a few perfect heads. The rest he covered with hair. Great comment.
I love that.
Comment of the day, Kurt. Thanks for being on. I see you all the time, buddy, and you're always contributing and bringing positive energy to the lives, and we really appreciate you. Hey, Amy, what have you learned? I saw a Prosper with Connie. She was here yesterday and made a wonderful comment that brought out some great conversation. So thank you for being back again today, Connie, and contributing. It's not just about our guests that make this show so powerful. It's also those of you who are listening and commenting. And I'm, of course, looking at your comments and trying to sort of, keep track of what you all are thinking and asking as well. But Connie says, I can't talk on camera. I lose my words. And of course, she's laughing at herself. And I believe Connie knows that she can do this and get better at this. But what have you learned about the power of just going live and putting yourself, Amy, into that hot seat where you sort of have to act yourself into a new way of being versus kind of sitting around thinking and hoping and getting coached to maybe hopefully one day get ready to go live and actually do some content and marketing? What have you learned about the power of just hitting live and putting yourself in that moment where you're forced to grow into a better version of yourself?
I promised myself when I got to 1,000 followers, which was November 2021, that I would just hit live and just handle whatever hit me. I didn't know if people were going to say, what's grandma doing on here? Or, what, the kind of things you hear. I did hear that. I was like, whatever they throw at me, I'm going to be kind. And I'm not going to put up crap. If they're just there to be jerks, they're going to go. But it's just talking. These are people on the other side of the camera lens. These are people. I'm going to answer their questions because I didn't know what to say in the beginning. I had a piece of paper and I'd have some bullet points, and so I would say, hey, y'all, if you got any questions, let me know. But in the meantime, I'm just going to kind of tell you what I'm doing, and I'll stop and answer your questions. And that's just it. It's just losing your words, pretending. If you're losing your words, Connie, just pretend like you're actually sitting there talking to an actual person, because you are. And anybody who throws things at you, rocks, and they're trying to see if they can make you stumble, laugh them off if you can. What I have noticed over the last 2 years of doing this is that most of the time, the people who are slinging mud or just trying to trip you up, I'll click on their profile while I'm doing the live stream. I'll click on it. They don't have any followers. They don't have any profile picture, and they don't have any videos. And so there's this saying, and sometimes I'll spit it out and I'll say, the people who do the least have the most to say. And,
Two hats.
It does take courage to get out there and put yourself out there, but just talk to these people as people. And sometimes I say to people, if you're just here just to cause, a ruckus or something, go on, because there's other people who want to know what this is about, and I'm here to talk to them. And, sometimes they'll just go away. So you just have to talk to these. These are people. These are actual people.
I'm going to that was a two-hatter.
Wow. Two-hatter.
You never seen that before, have you, Rodney? Called a two-hatter, buddy.
That's a good one.
Man, this has been such a powerful conversation.
That's one of her sayings, by the way.
What's that?
What she just said, the people who do the least have the most to say.
Yeah.
So it's one of the many sayings I've learned from her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a powerful one. I mean, and it's true in dadgum every walk of life. It's not just, it's not just online marketing where we're creating content and dealing with, haters and stuff in the comments. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. The peanut gallery. I mean, that's where that saying came from. Well, it's easy to say that in the dadgum peanut gallery,
Right.
over there on the sidelines. But if you got down here on the field and actually were playing the game, you'd be too busy getting hit in the mouth to be talking all that crap.
Right.
And that's scary, for people to do that. And so a lot of times, they're projecting their own shame of being maybe in the same place or not doing anything about their life or not having the courage. Who doesn't want to create content? Who doesn't want to be seen? Who doesn't want to be noticed? Who doesn't want to deliver value to other people? Who doesn't want to get recognition and provide something valuable to society? We all want to do that.
Yeah.
Everybody has the desire to be noticed, validated, recognized, compensated, all of those things. Every single human being on planet Earth, I'm throwing two hats for myself on that one. There's not a single person who doesn't want that, to be valuable in a community and to society. But it takes a courageous person to do that. It takes somebody to step out and be willing to put themselves out there, be willing to, to accept a little ridicule, a little rejection, some hateful comments. I mean, the word hater wasn't always a buzzword like it is now. It was the peanut gallery 10 or 20 years ago. It was the critics. It was, there's always been critics. There's always going to be people who it's their job. And it's sort of a weird thing that's a profession. It's the movie critics, right? It's the people who were, either not able or not courageous enough or whatever to actually go and get in front of the camera. So I'm going to sit back here and I'm going to right? I'm going to criticize you and I'm going to tear you down and up and down. And somehow as society, we have given these people more credit than they deserve, right? The newspapers and the media and the critics, because we're reading their content and we're almost putting them on an equal, like, that person's, that movie's got 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I guess that's a user generated thing. But when one person is criticizing another person, it's just literally their own experience and their own filters that they're projecting onto that person.
Right.
And it's such an empowering thing. I think, Rodney, you sort of alluded to this. It's so empowering when we realize, and I heard Deion Sanders say this to the press not too long ago. He says, I'm not worried about what you think. Your opinion of me is not my opinion of me. It's
Right.
totally different. Your opinion of me is not my opinion of me. We are on completely opposite spectrums of the field in terms of how we think about me, how you think about me, and how I think about me. And I think that is, when we realize that people, what they say about us is literally just a reflection of themselves, how they are feeling inside about themselves, their fears, their limitations. I told this story yesterday, I think, where Jay-Z, the rapper, his uncle, his own blood uncle, said, you'll never sell 1 million records, as Jay-Z was talking about having a dream back when he was a kid of selling 1 million records. And Jay-Z replied and said, no, you'll never sell 1 million records.
Wow.
You'll never sell 1 million records.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sell 1 million records. And that's to be able to say, to even be able to stand up to family or friends and not meet their energy with the same energy, but just not to take on their limiting beliefs as if they are your own, And I think you two are wonderful examples of sort of blazing your own trail. You're not letting anything stand in your way. Your previous experience, even though it may have frustrated you and exhausted you, the fact that you're, as you said, somebody said they were 55, you said you're a few years above that. Well, your age is not standing in the way of you. You said you think and act and play like children. And I've seen you. It's true, right? I've actually seen them in real life. What is the advice that you would give people? We'll go with you, Amy, and then Rodney, who are dealing with these limiting beliefs and at the same time taking on their friends and family's opinions and being codependent and sort of stuck in people pleasing and sort of afraid of friends and family to see them out on the internet doing something new and bold and different?
Well, this is something that I learned in my years in direct sales. There's balcony people and basement people, and you got to watch who you share things with. You have to be aware that there are people, and you mentioned this right in the beginning, Dave, about how some men are, what did you say? How did you put it? They don't feel comfortable with the thought of maybe their wife looking better, making more money, or whatever, like, I forget how you worded it. You worded it much better, but there are some men, and I saw this in direct sales, they didn't want their wives to be more successful. It was too much of a pride issue, or it just made them insecure. So if you have a spouse like that, that's like pooping on your idea, then talk to them very little about it. Find people to reach up to who can encourage you. And in fact, I screenshotted this yesterday because this was something I saw on Facebook, and it was somebody who had written a comment in one of my friends' Facebook groups. I don't know why, but I'm feeling so bad. It's not about the goal. I recently started hitting 1,000 average views on my reels, and I'm so grateful for that, but I'm just feeling negative inside me. Voices like, you can't do it, why would someone buy from you, are really discouraging, and I need some encouragement. It's not just that we have family that can tell us that. The worst thing is when we're telling ourselves that. And I am a strong believer in what we say to ourselves. We're like, I don't know if I want to say manifesting, because I think God's in control of everything, but what we put out there is what comes back. And so what we started doing recently is got Chatbox, the little app on here, ChatGPT's Chatbox. And we've written, like, give me 50 affirmations about how, it's better not to compare yourself to other people, that I am strong, that I am capable, that I am willing to put in the work. And, anyway, Chatbox will spit them out. And then you can put them in your notes, and you can have this thing talk to you. And so we listen to these positive affirmations, and putting inside your brain what you want to come out, I think is so, so, so important. So yeah, our families are a little bit negative. They are. We acknowledge that they are, but we really believe that you become like who you hang around. So we talk to them very little about it. And we talk to each other a lot. We have good friends, Phil and Heather Koberger, great friends of ours, Sarah Kelly, Emily, Camilla. We've got great friends here that we talk to people who are above us. We reach up to get that encouragement that we need. And I think that's so important if anybody's dealing with that kind of negativity.
Yeah. Hey, Rodney, wonderful. Well said. Beautiful, Amy. Rodney, what was it like for you and to have Amy, starting this first and seeing her succeed, and how, what was your, you may have, but and it'd be great for you to share that, felt some insecurity or felt some pride around that, but clearly you've fallen in line and been inspired to not feel threatened, but instead feel motivated. If somebody has a spouse that is not supportive of what they're doing, or is in some way projecting their own kind of limiting beliefs onto that spouse, how talk about your experience seeing Amy. How did you best make Amy feel loved and supported as she was getting started even though you're a man and you're big and strong and you're, all the things that men are supposed to be and do and plan and provide and protect and all this stuff. How did you best love and support Amy? And what advice would you give to both, spouses that are having a hard time and maybe somebody can share this with their spouse, that are having a hard time really, supporting and loving their spouse through them starting something new, and I also wonder if you can also look at it from the opposite perspective, is how might a spouse solicit their partner's love and support in a way that's not critical, or in a way that's not, guilting or shaming of that spouse. Just talk to us a little bit about spousal support and how you've navigated that, both from her getting started first, but also you needing support as you got started from her.
Right. We never intended to be doing this, quote unquote, together. It just kind of evolved that way. She still has her account. I have my account. We're looking into doing an account together here in the near future. When I first saw her success and saw the money coming in, I had no problem with that. My ego just got out of the way. It was a huge relief for me. I was the breadwinner for so many years, and she wanted to contribute so bad, and she did. But I had no problem with that. I can finally relax. I can sleep better at night. I do not toss and turn or holler out. She says I holler out sometimes, or I used to. And it was the stress of money. But for anybody, I highly recommend, if you're going through this training, if there's any way possible to get your spouse involved. I know that can't happen with everybody. There's different personalities out there, but if possible, it is wonderful. Our communication alone is just so much better. I mean, we've always had good communication, but good communication, we talk about this all the time. Amy has to tell me to shut up at night because it's 8:30, 9 o'clock. It's time to wind it down.
I tell him nicely.
She tells me nicely. Yeah. I love it. I love this. I'm glad we're involved in this together. I highly recommend it for couples.
I would say, can I just add something to that?
Please, I was going to ask you anyways.
I was gonna say, if you find somebody that's skeptical about what you're doing, don't talk so much. Just go to work. Just put the action in there. Let them see. I didn't talk a whole lot about it. I just went to work. I screamed and hollered every time, I would have some success. He saw that, and he kept watching me run around the house screaming and hollering like I was an idiot. And finally he's like, okay, what are you doing exactly again now? And he just got to investigating. And so your actions speak louder than, anything you're going to say. So
that's true.
Then go to work.
There's nothing more convincing than a dadgum check. There's nothing that'll get your spouse on board faster than just commissions in the bank account. Money going in, actual, real, that bank account balance going up. And you know what? It doesn't even matter if it's $2, if it's $20, if it's $200. If you can just get to the point to where you're starting to see some tangible results, so your spouse can see that you're not just putting money out, that you're actually also bringing money in. And then you can have the conversation that, most businesses take months or years to get into profit. So This is not going to be an overnight get rich quick scheme. That's not what you want me to do. Is it, honey? You don't want me to be involved in something that's going to be an overnight here today, gone tomorrow type of thing. So just bear with me. You're seeing some results. You're seeing some money come back in. I can show you my lead list as well. I'm starting to generate some leads. I've got an audience that's building up. And I think there's power in asking for what we need, asking for what we want. Hey, here's what would make me feel loved and supported. If you would not make sarcastic comments, if you would tell me that you're proud of me, if when I was done working, that you would kiss my forehead and hold me for a couple of minutes and just not say anything. If you would just not ask me about my business, I'm not going to explain it to you. I'm not going to try to tell and sell you and try to get you on board. You don't even have to ask me about it. Just hold me at night. I'm going to try to keep all my responsibilities up as I always have, because I know I'm bringing something new into our lives and into our family. So I'm not going to abandon my responsibilities. I think it's important when we're starting a new venture to let our spouse know, I'm not going to abandon you either. I'm not going to abandon you as I'm going through this. I'm not going to suddenly choose this over you. And now all of a sudden you're not going to get your needs met. Because a lot of times, particularly us men, we've got one-track minds. And if we see our spouses doing something new, it's like, oh my God, am I not now going to get my needs met? Maybe she's going to abandon me and I'm no longer going to get my needs met. My needs are pretty simple, but I'm just wondering if I'm not going to get those needs met anymore, right? And for whether it's male or female, whatever, to ensure and I think we minimize sometimes the impact that us starting something new can have on our spouse. And I think it's important for us to reassure them that even though we're starting something new, what can I do to make you feel loved and supported? Not just I'm starting something new. How can you make me feel loved and supported? This is me choosing to do something new. The truth is that, that's a choice that we're making to bring something new into our families' lives as entrepreneurs. And so it can be so powerful to kind of flip the script. And instead of criticizing our spouse for not giving us the support that we think that we deserve, for us to flip the script on them and to say, hey, I know I'm starting something new. How can I make you feel loved and supported? And then once you listen and you even begin to do those things, you have now every right to turn around and say, well, this is what I would like for you to do to make me feel loved and supported as I'm going through this journey, because I'm certainly doing it to benefit our entire family. And you two have absolutely clearly figured out your way of doing that. So let's bring this plane in for a landing. What advice would you give, Amy, to yourself, looking back now with this amazing experience that you have, that you did not know or were not able to sort of tell yourself, even if you heard it from other people? Forget, sometimes that either sinks in or it doesn't. But if you could go back and sit next to yourself in this, Amy, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, and say, hey, kiddo, listen up, right?
Sorry.
Business is booming. Now, we know that's not a business call. That's a family call because we don't take phone calls in this business.
That's right.
Amy, what would you tell yourself?
It's just on a technical aspect, I'd say get on more platforms in the very beginning. I was just focused on TikTok at the beginning, and you definitely need to expand into other platforms to get more traffic. But I would also tell anybody who's new, my friends and I cracked up the other day. We saw somebody had posted a video that said, I've been doing this 2 whole months. And I'm just really, really, I forget how she worded it. I'm done. I'm just like, it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. You don't go start a Victoria's Secret, and if you don't have the sales coming in 2 months, you just quit. And you said it, Dave, a long time ago. I don't remember where I saw you or heard you say it, but you said the ones who persevere win. The ones who, you said it something like that. The ones who don't quit are the ones that will see the success. It does get frustrating when it's up and down, when TikTok blocks your account, when you got 200 views on something that you worked 2 hours on, whatever it is, it can be frustrating, but this is not a get rich quick kind of thing. It's worth the effort that it's going to take to build it. Absolutely. You are learning skills that can go, that can take you so many directions, not just affiliate marketing, but so many directions. It's worth it. You got to be hungry for it, but I would say just don't quit. That's the number one thing I would say. People quit way too soon. They give up way too easily. They get way too frustrated. They see and compare their journey to the journeys of other people. And they're like, well, that didn't happen for me. I must suck at this. No, that's not what that means. You persevere. This is your journey. Just don't quit. Just don't quit.
You're muted.
That's because I like to talk to myself. Yeah.
Okay.
The voices in my head, I just kind of add to them. Rodney, you've had the unique experience of starting this yourself and being able to answer that question from both having the experience that you have now and being able to look back at when you first started and be able to maybe give yourself some unique advice. But you also have the unique experience of watching Amy start and seeing where she is now and where she was at the beginning. So knowing all of that, what would you tell your early self? What advice would you give you that you know now that maybe you, or of course somebody in our audience, may not know at the very beginning when they're getting started?
Definitely comparisonitis. I've compared myself to other affiliates, but mostly I've compared myself to Amy. When I first started out, I started doing everything the way she did it. And at some point I realized I'm not Amy. I got to find my own path, my own voice. So if I were to give myself advice, or anybody starting out, stop getting ready to get ready. That's something that was a challenge for me. Be open-minded. I started out closed-minded. Be open-minded for change. Have a positive mindset. We, like Amy says, we have so much negativity, even in our own family. We love them. We just don't want to be like them. And don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Yes, the training and the blueprints, it's all there. Dig for it. It's in there. It's spelled out. You can do this.
Unbelievable, you two. I mean, you are just both an absolute inspiration. You are so uniquely talented, but it's not because you were born like that. It's not because you have some advantage that other people don't have. It's because you both have this incredible will to grow, to step into the next best version of yourselves. And that is so evident in the fact that you are both growing individually, but you are also both growing as a couple in this journey. And that is something that is really, really to be validated and really to be celebrated. And I know that sometimes, even when you're living your own lives, it's hard to really feel that celebration and feel that triumph. But I can tell you that from the outside looking in, I could not be more honored to know you both. I could not be more honored to be on this journey with you, to be also call you friends and have you influencing my life. Just to be able to see you and know you. We don't have to talk every day. And the truth is that you, like I had Chelsea, we met on a week ago, and I told the audience the same thing that I'll tell them. I didn't call Amy and Rodney and give them any private coaching or super backdoor secrets or anything like that. You all just decided to lead. You decided to step up and take the bull by the horns. You decided to go through the training and actually apply it, and then keep going when it wasn't turning out exactly like, everybody else that you saw around you, or when you got into comparisonitis. And now you're able to come back and share this unbelievable wisdom with us and, of course, with your audience. And it is so precious. It's so valuable. You both are so incredible. I just want to tell you, my friends, stay legendary. You are true legends. You are true legends, both in this community. You are true legends in this community. And you are also legends to your audience. And I cannot wait to see you very soon. And of course, come back and see me and keep me posted on your journey on this show as well, if you would.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dave. We're so grateful for you.
Grateful for you. Absolutely.
All right, my friends. We'll talk to you soon. Okay. Stay legendary. Great job.
Have a good day.
All right, my friends, you can go and find Rod and Amy over on TikTok, for example. You've got Side Hustles Hot Rod, and that's hustles with an S, plural. Side Hustles Hot Rod, spelled exactly how it sounds. You've also got Amy at Make Money with Amy Online. Make Money with Amy Online. Same thing over on Instagram. You can find Amy profile at Make Money with Amy Online. Again, everything spelled exactly how it sounds. And my friends, if you read between not only listen to the words that they both said, but also read between the lines. Understand that you heard all the glory, but you may not know the story of what they've been through. You may have heard the highlight reel today, the trailer, the hour-long, of course, completely unscripted, no BS interview here of Rodney and Amy. That's the story. That's the glory. But understand, there's a full-blown story behind all of this success that they've had as well. And you know, there's a journey to get here that they've been willing to walk and go through. And that's how they've achieved these results. They have put in the time, they have put in the work, they have put in the effort, and everything that they've achieved is possible for anybody else if you too are willing to humble yourself, just like Rodney did, watching Amy have all the success at the beginning. What a humble man. What an absolute example of how to be a man. What an absolute example of how to be a man. To be able to look at our spouses, partners, and the amazing women inside of this community and shut our mouths, fellas. Shut our mouths. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a dadgum reason. Because sometimes when we shut this damn thing and we listen, we learn. So there's examples. You get to choose what example, what learning lesson that you want to take from every single situation. And when I look at somebody like Rod, of course, there's a million lessons to learn from just Amy if you just follow her and listen to her and learn from her. But you can learn how to be a man in modern day society from also watching how Rodney has navigated that journey by Amy's side and not be threatened, not be, prideful, not be misogynistic, but to say, wow, she's got something going on here. I think I'm going to listen. I think I'm going to learn. I think I'm going to participate. And then through that, wow, the relationship is going to blossom. Well, what an amazing, again, if we read between the lines, there's lessons more than what is just being said if we both listen to what people say, but we also watch what they do. And these two are people that you should be watching what they do. So once again, go follow them. You can find Rodney over at on TikTok and Facebook at Side Hustles Rod. Side Hustles Rod. Go follow the man. He's getting started on this journey. Give him some dadgum support. Lift him up, right? Lift this man up. Same thing with Amy. You can find her on TikTok and Instagram at Make Money with Amy Online. Oh, that's a wrap, my friends. Get on out of here. Love you. See you tomorrow. Peace.